We're ready.
We're ready to welcome everyone. Hello and welcome to another edition of winemastery.co.uk. I nearly said that. We're here to get you to the wine that you prefer, the fastest possible route, and try and save you money in the process, so you're not tasting lots of wines you're not going to enjoy. My name's John Lightfoot and
I'm John Murphy.
And you would have already, if you've already seen some of our videos, you would have realised they're quite informal. Just two guys talking about wine, one a dummy, me, one an expert. But where we're making mistakes on the video, like if I suddenly start bursting out laughing, we're leaving it in just for the fun of it. It's not intended to be pompous or stuck up in any way. We just want to get you the best possible wine we can to your lips as quickly as possible. So, this is episode number 5.
It is indeed, yes.
Part 1. And we're going to talk about what wine today, John?
Well, this evening I thought we should go down the Sauvignon route. We went through, I can't remember which episode, was it episode 1 or 2? We went through...
Episode 3.
Episode 3, yeah, oh. I've drunk a lot since then, so we looked at the different grapes we had. I think it was a Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay and a Sauvignon. So this evening I thought we're going to look at the different Sauvignons, or different styles of Sauvignons, just from different countries, and see what the difference are between them all.
Oh, excellent. And if I remember correctly, in episode 3, you mentioned a slight heartburn problem with Sauvignon.
Yes, indeed. I don't know if it is my age or whatever it might be, but sometimes Sauvignon just tend to be fairly acidic anyway, and I know sometimes it can immediately give me heartburn. Sometimes I can touch it to my lips and know that's going to give me heartburn. So this evening, the 3 which we have selected, hopefully we're going to escape it, but we shall see.
Does food help with that? I mean, if you get heartburn?
It does indeed, yeah, and especially the cheese. The cheese really helps. It softens up the acid. A lot of cheese has kind of naturally kind of lactic acid in there, so matching cheeses with wines, especially, I said before, there's no hard and fast rules, but a Sauvignon goes very, very well with a goat's milk cheese, because the goat's milk does have kind of high lactic acid in there, and trying the cheese just after you've had the wine and then go back to the wine, it kind of knocks the acidity on the head, cancels each other out, so you can pull more from the wine.
Excellent, okay. Well, if you've got some cheese handy, do you?
Yeah.
Right, so which one we're starting with?
Right, well, as I said, we're going to look at different countries and the kind of the styles of Sauvignons that they have. Now, this evening, we're going to look at, firstly, we're going to have a look at South African. Now, South Africa, I mean, the climate always kind of affects any kind of grape or any wine. And now, obviously, you're more than welcome, more than welcome. South Africa is quite, obviously, it has a very warm climate. So what you tend to find with warm climates is they do tend to get a juicier kind of grape and a fuller grape. So let us start with this Sauvignon and see what we're thinking. Now, immediately from there, I mean, your piece of paper will help there. You can see that is very, very pale. Very pale, almost like a touch of honey in there, but that's it. But then again, Sauvignon does tend to be like that anyway. So, and we have a look, that's very clear, as we looked at before.
Oh, it smells delightful.
See, that is a very powerful smell in your face, that, isn't it?
Mm.
Now, I would describe that without getting all that kind of talk going on here, but there's like fresh cut grass there. And,
really?
Yeah, fresh cut, and almost like...
I'm trying to say it because you're going to say you can't smell it.
No.
Like melon?
Yeah. Well, again, with this being a warmer climate kind of Sauvignon, it does lean more towards the kind of that tropical fruit, the kind of more lush. As we go on, you're going to see a noticeable difference here, and that's interesting. Well done. But what about nettles? Is there nettles in there?
No.
No? No?
To be honest, I don't think I'd recognise a nettle smell if I smell one.
Well, well, it's not like I go around sniffing nettles all the time. But no, well, I find that fairly fresh, but as you said, the melons there kind of rounder more, it's not quite as sharp.
No, it's not.
No. So they're not what you'd expect from a Sauvignon.
No.
So we'll have a little taste. And get that first one, does really nothing, get it all in your mouth.
Okay.
Yum. See, that one surprised me.
I surprised the smell led me to think it was going to taste differently.
Well, I thought out of all the Sauvignons we will be tasting this evening, I thought this would be the one that would give me the heartburn, but actually that's quite soft. And again, that does come because it has the warmer climate, and as such it doesn't get quite as sharp. So
why do you expect this one to be the sharper?
Because it's a younger one as well, and usually the younger ones tend to be higher in acidity, and as such that would be a clue for me.
Is this 2013? Is it?
I think we're on 2014.
Whoa!
Very, very young.
Very young. Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
But I can get your melons from there. I got your melons. I just realised what I said then. But no, that's definitely kind of, the citrus is in there, but it's not, as I say, again, it's not a complicated wine, is it? So you're not going to be finding a lot in there. What I am noticing this, though, from this, as a Sauvignon, it isn't a very typical Sauvignon, because it doesn't have that sharpness in there. It is a lot rounder than you usually find. There's not much kind of citrusy flavours in it. You see, I would usually expect lime and lemon.
When you're talking about citrusy, do you think that some people, are there, for example, some people you would say citrusy, but another person will taste it and say, well, no, it's not, I can't tell. Why do you think that?
Well, again, it's fairly subjective, and that's why we can, almost, wax lyrical about it. But I don't know, when we say citrus, it is like that, the crisp green apple kind of style, the lime, the lemon, and again, there's the hint of that apple, the apple is in there, but it would be, you were talking like an apple that would be, a nice, I say, crisp and green, not one of the kind of big, fresh, red lush ones. It doesn't have that.
By the way, talking of the noises, when you're...
Yeah.
I was in a restaurant on Saturday and I actually made the noises. I tested it and it did cause the wine waiters to smile.
Really? What I always do. But even that as well nowadays. Because when you go to a restaurant, a lot of people do, or I should say, the waiter will open the bottle and give you a little taste and see if it's okay. And that was basically, back in the day, that was more about the kind of quality, or not the quality control, or see if it was off or not, because a lot of wines, with the cork, can be corked or oxidised, so the waiter would always open it and give you a little taste. But nowadays that's almost kind of obsolete, because they're nearly all screw cap, and as such you kind of guaranteed that it's going to be okay. But it still happens.
I was always told by somebody that knew a lot more about wine than me that obviously going into a restaurant and the waiter gives you the taste, he said don't bother to taste it, just smell it, and if you smell it, you think you know what you're doing. Yeah,
well that's true. Well, if a wine is oxidised or off in any way, you can get that immediately from the nose. You don't have to taste it. You'll get that kind of mushroomy and foisty kind of smell, which generally kind of is more towards the red. You would get that from the whites. You would get a really kind of sharp, vinegary, that kind of catch the back of your nose kind of thing. It's not a natural thing to be smelling anyway. So you should notice immediately, and it is a very apparent one as well as that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Very obvious.
Well, that was very, very nice. And this one is from South Africa.
It's South African Sauvignon. Now the South Africans, they're kind of their signature grape. The signature grape being the grape which the country is most famous for, as such, would be in their whites would be a Chenin. They're more famous for that. They produce probably the best Chenin in the world. They don't produce the best Sauvignon. But this evening we are trying the different grapes from different regions. So although it's a nice one, I think this would retail between about £8 and £10. What I would say about that, it's a good all-rounder. Like nearly everybody like that. There's nothing to not like about it. So you're on a safe bet if you are visiting friends or you're thinking of a bottle to take. You can't go far wrong with that.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Very nice. Sorry.
So, shall we move on to the second, or will the second be in our second section?
It will be in our second section, so part two. I'm glad you remembered, because I completely forgot.
Alright.
So join us in the next video, part two, for our next Sauvignon.
Indeed. Okay.